Hello, welcome to this grammar section. We're going to focus on phrasal verbs. There are naturally many cases where a verb and a particle have a specific meaning. However, the meaning can change when we put them together. Let's see an example. We can say, did she bring up the laptop from downstairs? This is the regular meaning of the verb to bring something up. But we can also say, she has brought up 3 children on her own. This is the new meaning. And here, the verb to bring up is equal to raise, okay? To look after until adulthood. We also have phrasal verbs with 2 particles. Most of these verbs need an object that has to be placed at the end. This makes the different components of the verb inseparable. Let's see an example. I'm looking forward to my weekend plans. Okay, so here the verb is to look forward to something. I'm looking forward to seeing you very soon. Okay? Now, phrasal verbs can also be used with no object, and in these cases, the final particle is not used. We can say, for example, Rachel has decided to cut down on smoking. Okay, so smoking would be the direct object there. But we can also say, Rachel has decided to cut down. And there we don't have to use the direct object. Now I'd like you to have a look carefully at these examples of phrasal verbs and try to remember what each of them mean, because you'll be using them in the follow-up exercises. Let's see, we have to cut down on something, which means to reduce the amount of. To catch up with somebody or something, to reach that same place or point. To come up again, to meet, to find, to come up with an idea, for example, to think of an idea, to come up with an idea. To drop in on is to visit somebody for a short period of time, to face up to something or somebody, to accept, to deal with that person or that thing, to feel up to doing something, meaning to have the strength, the energy to do that thing, to get away with something, to do something bad and not be punished for it, to get along with or to get on with, meaning to have a good relationship with a person. To get on with plus an object also means to continue doing something. Now, here's another list of phrasal verbs that will come in very useful. Let's see. To get out of, meaning to avoid responsibility. To get round to doing something, to find the time to do that thing. To get up to is to do something in a mischievous way. To go in for, to have as a hobby. Okay, for example, I'm going in for tennis. I'm going to start practicing tennis. To grow out of something is to become too old for that thing. To keep up with something or somebody, to maintain the same pace. To look down on somebody, to feel superior to that person. To look up to somebody, to feel respect for that person. To look forward to await something impatiently, anxiously. To make up for something that you've done, for example, means to compensate for. To put up with is to accept something without complaining. To put up with a particular situation, for example. To run out of something, to have no more of that thing. And to stand up for means to defend something, to stand up for your ideals, to stand up, to defend your ideals. Now, some phrasal verbs can be used with one particle. These phrasal verbs take an object which goes after it. It's never used between the verb and the particle, and they're transitive and inseparable. Let's see an example. My girlfriend loves coffee. She can't do without it in the morning, okay? She can't do without it in the morning. Now, here are some more phrasal verbs which I'd like you to look through carefully and try to remember what they mean, because they are very common in spoken English. To ask after plus the object, to ask for, to ask about something, to call for, to come to your place and collect you, to call on somebody, to visit a person for a short time, to come across something, to find that thing by chance, to come into some money, for example, to inherit money, to count on somebody or something, to depend on that thing or person, to deal with, to take action, to solve the issue, to do without something, to manage, to cope without having that particular thing. Now, here are some more. To get at, which means to suggest. What are you getting at? What are you suggesting? To get over something, to recover from that thing, to join in, to take part, to contribute towards something. To live on, meaning to have as your income, okay? I live off my job, okay? My job is my income. To look into something, to investigate that thing. To look around, to look round, to look at everything. To make for, to go in the direction of something. I'm making for the university, I'm going in that direction. To pick on somebody is to choose a person to make fun of them, okay? My friends keep picking on me, okay? They make fun of me. To run into somebody, to meet somebody by chance, to see about something, to make arrangements, to see to something, to attend to something, to take care of something. To stand for can mean to tolerate, but it can also mean to be candidate for. I can say I'm standing for elections, for example. And to take after, to have the same characteristics as. For example, I can say I take after my father. And that's all for the moment. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.